Yeah, yeah. I was going to ask you what a good story is and isn't, but I just want to change it, if you don't mind, about could you give us an example of a story? Could you tell us a story? Because that's what you're known for.
Tell you any story?
Any story, yeah.
Wow. I mean, I have hundreds, so it's interesting. Give me a prompt. Can you give me a prompt?
Okay, I heard one that others may not have heard about the powerful spoon.
Oh, my spoon story. Oh, that's
Spoon
an
story.
easy one to tell. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell that one quite a bit because that's good for workshops and for business. So yeah, I'll tell you that story. I'm standing behind the school where I work in front of this enormous pile of fall leaves, and it's shaking. It's sort of quivering in a way it should not. And then this tiny little hand emerges from the leaves, and in that hand there is a metal object. And then the head that is attached to the hand appears, this little red-headed boy named Jamie, and he looks at me and he says, Mr. Dix, look what I found. And I see it. I see the metal object in his hand. I say, I see it, Jamie. I see it. He says, look. And I said, I see it. It's a spoon. It's a spoon. It's an ordinary kitchen spoon. Probably fell out of a lunchbox 5 days ago or 5 years ago. It migrated to the bottom of this pile. Jamie dove in, and now he's got it in his hand. But I tell Jamie, really for no reason other than to be silly, I say, Jamie, that's not just a spoon. That's the spoon of power. And the moment I say that, Jamie knows that I now have to have the spoon of power. It must be mine. And I know Jamie knows this because he starts running before I say a word. I declare it the spoon of power, and he runs away from his teacher as fast as he can because he knows his crazy teacher is now going to try to pry that spoon from his fingers. And he's not wrong. And for the next 18 minutes, while I'm responsible for the safety of about 100 fifth graders, all of that is lost to me. I don't care about any of them anymore. The only thing I care about is a red-headed boy with a spoon that I will hunt down and pry from his fingers. And so I chase him across the field and up the playscape and down the slide. We go through the woods, around the swings. 18 minutes later, the bell rings, and I cannot believe it. This boy still has the spoon in his hand. He has managed to evade a grown-up and retain possession of the spoon. But that is okay, because Jamie's my student. He's in my class all day long. I've got a couple more hours to get it from him, and he's 10 years old. He has the attention span of a mulberry bush. Like, he's focused on it now, but in a few minutes, something's going to distract him, and I will get the spoon. So I'm in class. I'm teaching math. I'm putting equations on the board. And this kid, he's put the spoon on the corner of his desk as if to dare me to try to get it. And so I've got one eye on the equations, and I've got one eye on Jamie and the spoon. And Jamie's got one eye on his notebook and one eye on the spoon. We're in this stare down, just waiting for one of us to blink. And then I'm reading a story to them, sitting on a stool, reading a book. Spoon's still like just out of my reach. I've got one eye on the spoon, one eye on the book. He's got one eye on me, one eye on the spoon. If he was focused this way all the time, he would have cured cancer by now. I cannot believe how laser focused this kid is on this thing. But even this is okay, because at the end of the day, we write, and Jamie loves writing as much as I do. Jamie's the kind of writer who gets lost in his stories. So his head sort of dips down onto his arm, his pen strokes get long, and eventually he's going to lose focus, and that's my moment. So I just stand in the back of the room and I wait. I wait until I see the little red head go down, and then I creep up the aisle. I reach for the spoon, and it's not there. And Jamie turns to me and he says, did you really think I was just going to leave it there for you? And I lose my mind. I start yelling, like, where's the spoon? Girl to the right says, leave us alone. We're trying to get our work done. I turn to the left to the boy. Where's the spoon? He says, I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Dix. They all know where it is. They're all conspiring against me. They've helped Jamie to do something with this spoon. So I threaten them. I say, 1,000 years of homework. You will never see the outdoors again. Where's the spoon? And then the bell rings. The bell rings to end the school day. Jamie's out of his seat. He grabs his coat. And then he swings by the classroom library on the way out the door. He pulls out the box of books marked S. He reaches inside and he pulls it out. He says, I filed it under S for spoon. And he's out the door. I cannot believe it. I legitimately tried to get a spoon from a kid, and I have failed. The next day, Jamie comes into the classroom, and he has the spoon on a chain around his neck. And I say, how did you? And he says, my dad drilled the hole, and my mom gave me the chain. And so now he's wearing it. He's wearing the spoon of power. And as terrible as a person as I am, even I can't tear a spoon from the neck of a little boy. So for days, he walks around the classroom going, the spoon of power, Mr. Dix. Every day he brings it to school, the spoon of power, making me crazy. And then Thursday comes. It's time for the weekly math tests. It's time for Mackenzie to lose her mind. because Mackenzie someday might get a math problem wrong. And in Mackenzie's mind, when that happens, the world will crumble. So every Thursday, I have to put her back together. I have to bolster her up and tell her it's going to be okay, that mistakes are valuable. If you make a mistake, it's fine. And she's sort of falling apart like she always does. And then Jamie's standing there. Jamie stands there and he takes the spoon off and he puts it around Mackenzie's neck and says, maybe this will help. And somehow it is the best math test Mackenzie has ever taken in her life. Somehow that spoon changes everything for her. 3 days later, David's grandfather passes away. When David returns to school, Jamie's standing by the door. And when David walks in, he drops the spoon around David's neck and says, I think you could use this today. And he's right. For the rest of the year, whenever a kid's in trouble, they find themselves wearing a spoon around their neck. They forget their homework. They have to come deal with me, face the music, we call it. They walk over to my desk wearing that damn spoon around their neck. They get in trouble with the principal. They're going to make that long walk down the linoleum hallway. They walk with a spoon around their neck. They get bullied on a bus on the way to school. They wear that spoon on their neck on the way home. And every single time, somehow, that spoon makes them feel better. And so the last day of school arrives, and I gather my students together. I want them to sort of have an opportunity to say anything they want before this family is broken and we head off to our new places. And so I invite them, say whatever you want. And Jamie stands up and he walks over to me and he takes the spoon off and he tries to hand it to me. And I say no. I say, Jamie, I tried to get that spoon from you back in October, and had I run you down, I would have pried it from your dumb little fingers and it would have been mine. But somehow you managed to keep it for yourself and turn it into this thing that's been like magical this year. It's been amazing. It's your spoon to keep. Jamie says no. Jamie says the magic of the spoon only works in my classroom. He tells me I need to keep the spoon so that next year when kids are struggling, I can use the spoon to help them like he has helped them this year. And then he pulls this little orange chair up against me and he steps up onto it. And for the first time in my life, he drops the spoon of power around my neck, and I get to feel the magic for the first time. The 2020-2021 school year, the year of the pandemic, was the hardest year I will ever teach in my 26 years. It's also the most important year I taught. We went right back to class in September, masks and social distancing. Lots of people got sick that year. I got sick. My wife, a kindergarten teacher, got very sick. My own children got sick. And we lost some people that year. It was the first year of my life that I was frightened at times when I came to school. But I also felt throughout that year, and for a very long time, I have felt like I'm the luckiest teacher in America because I still have the spoon. 17 years ago, a little redheaded boy gave me that spoon. And I still wear it to school every day. And I still put it around the necks of children every day. And somehow, it still makes their days better. I am the only teacher in the world who has a simple kitchen spoon found under a leaf pile a long time ago and put on a chain by a mother that has miraculously become my most valuable teaching tool. It is the thing that has gotten me through these days and will continue to get me through these days until I leave the classroom forever. Thank you.